Okay, I just want to look at... Okay, so just looking at negative angles. So negative theta. So basically what that means is going in this direction. So if theta is acute, then negative theta would be like here in that quadrant. So for example, negative 60 degrees would be going in this direction, and that would be minus 60. So if you did sine of minus 60 degrees, that will be equivalent to doing sine of, like going around the other way, sine of 360 minus 60, which is 300. So that then, if you look in that quadrant then, in that quadrant sine is negative, and the acute angle that goes with 300 is 60. So that means that sine of negative 60 is equal to minus sine of 60. So that's going to be minus sine, and sine 60, so this is 60, 30, root 3 is next door to the 30. So sine 60 would be root 3 on 2, so minus root 3 on 2. Or if you put your calculator in, and you went sine of minus 60, you'll get minus sine 60, you get minus 0.866, etc. And when you square it, you end up with 0.75 or 3/4, which then goes to root 3 on 2. So it's minus root 3 on 2. So, you know, if you've got minus 45, and you see the cos of minus 45, so that's in that quadrant, and it's going there. So cos is positive in that quadrant. This will be equivalent then if you go around the other way of 360 minus 45. So you can simply just take 360 away and you get 315. And then when you do that, that's equal to cos 45, because the acute angle there that makes cos 15 will be cos 360 minus 45 gives you cos 15. And cos 45, if you go 1 root 2 45, it's just going to be 1 on root 2. So cos minus 45 is equal to cos of 45, which is 1 on root 2. So you can simply, when you take that negative out, it just goes to a plus. So far we've got sine of minus a equals minus sine of a. That's for an acute angle. And cos of minus a just equals cos a in that quadrant. So tan of minus a, because tan is negative in that quadrant, ends up being tan of a. So with negative angles, you could bring them around and get, like, say you have 30, you could bring the negative, there's the negative 30 around, and get the positive angle, which is 360 minus 30, which is 330. But you can also use these. So sine of minus a is minus sine of a. Cos of minus a equals cos a. And tan of minus a equals minus tan a. Okay. So that means in that quadrant, that's because sine is negative in that quadrant, tan is negative in that quadrant, and cos is positive. Now, if a was obtuse, or even reflex, the same rule, this rule still applies. Like I'll show you for one of them. Let's say sine of minus 240. So it will still all work out. So we're saying that that's equal to sine of 240. You can just pull the negative out. Now, first of all, if we did sine of minus 240, you can see that that ends up being the same as 360. I'm going to do it this way first. Minus 240, which is 120. So it's sine of 120. In that quadrant, sine of 120 is in that quadrant. So it's going to be positive sine, and the acute angle is sine 60. And sine 60 is equal to root 3 on 2. It's 30. Root 3 on 2. So if I did it the other way, and I pulled the negative out, then I'm looking at sine of 240. So sine of 240 is in that quadrant. So that's 180 plus 60 to get 240. So that's minus sine 60. But sine is negative in that quadrant. So it's minus sine 60. So that means it's going to be plus sine 60, which is what you ended up doing here anyway, which is root 3 on 2. So the quickest way when you've got negatives is just to pull the negative out. If it's sine, it's minus sine A. If it's tan, it's minus tan A. And if it's cos, it's just cos A. Okay, so let's just say if you wanted to evaluate sine of minus 300 degrees, that would be minus sine 300, which is minus, now sine 300 is in that quadrant, and the acute angle is 60. So it's minus sine 60, which is plus sine 60. And if you look at your thing, there's 60 root 3 is opposite, so it's plus root 3 on 2. I just actually visualised my triangles. I know root 3 goes with the 30, and that helps me. And then you've got the other one, 1 root 2, 45. Because most of these are based around exact angles. Okay, so you get root 3 on 2. See, if you did that the other way, sine of 300 would be around here. So it's equivalent to sine 60, because minus 300 is the same as positive 60, because you can get it by turning this way. So if you turned around 60 that way, it's the same as turning 300 that way. Okay. So say we did tan of minus 120, that equals minus tan 120, and 120 then puts it in that quadrant, so it's minus tan 60, which is equal to positive tan 60, and because root 3 is opposite the 60, that's going to be root 3 on 1. You could also just chuck it into your calculator, tan of minus 120, and you would get the square root of 3. You would get 1.732. So if you square that, you end up with 3, and then mentally, then you square root it. So square root it and you get positive root 3. So it actually does it for you.